Today's project is to make some of these flasks, and I'm going to use this steel flask to make them. So basically I'll use part of the flask, ram them up inside of this flask to make more flasks. These are identical, the cope and the drag, with the exception of just one has the alignment pins. So I went ahead and prepped the drag. The drag's on the top right now. Down here you'll see some weld. Somebody did that at some point to keep the sand in, and without that weld, the sand drops right out of here if you're not careful. And if you let the thing sit for about an hour, lift it up with sand rammed in it, it will fall out because the sand will start to shrink a little bit. So let's get started. There's very little room, about a 1/4 inch down here on each side, and not much here for these ears. So it's kind of important that it doesn't move. Kind of want to go around this whole thing a little bit real quick, kind of lock it in place so this doesn't shift. One thing I don't like about steel flasks is they're really heavy. When you get sand in there, they're monsters. And this is just half. So flip this over. That'll be my sprue that I'm going to have 4 risers. So we'll go here and here. Let's see if I can hit it. Yep. Yep, hit that one too. So now I'm going to lift this off. Not too shabby. I don't have any big chunks of sand sitting in here, so that's nice. The sand didn't stick. So these ended up hitting here and here. And these are here and there. Okay, so I'm going to move this to the floor and then prep the cope. I can't pop this out here because on the bottom side there's about that much sand, and if I lift this, this is kind of holding all this together. If I were to pull this out here, the second I lift this up, the center part's going to stay right on the bench, and everything's gonna, the rest of it's going to go with the drag. So there's not a whole lot to do here. I'm going to knock off some of this, radius the edges, get any sharp edges off that are going to crumble. Then on this side, I'm gonna carve this out. No pouring basin on this. And my risers, I'll probably carve out a little bit at the top. I don't know if I'll have enough aluminum for it to come up to the bigger section so the top cools last, so I don't know. My furnace, it'll handle a bigger crucible, but I only have my clay one is about the same size as my steel one, so I'm just gonna see what I can do. Okay, so now the fun part, trying to get this out of the sand. Oops. All right. There we go. Whatever sand falls down in that deep cavity, it's gonna have to stay there. I don't think I'll be able to get it out. Whew. Well, it's time to close it up. I got the furnace going. It held together pretty good. I think this should work. Here's the coat. Do a kind of a test close and pull it out, blow it off again, but not on this. All right, just waiting on the furnace now. Looks like it'll work. Nice. I can work with this. Got a little bit of stuff there that'll file or grind right off. I'm looking across. Doesn't look like any of my sealing surface is shrunk down. That's a winner. We'll just have to do a bunch more. Alright, so I did some cleanup. Basically I ground the inside, the outside, any of the sharp edges. Turned up some pins on the lathe. Show you how it fits together. There's the drag. This is the cope. Very nice. I just got to finish up the other two. Or three. I don't know. I forget. I think I did two more. Two other ones. Anyway, thanks for watching.